Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are tackling a really fascinating fixture from the Premier League's mid-season schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about that New Year's Day clash.
Mm-hmm.
Sunderland versus Manchester City, up at the Stadium of Light.
A huge one.
Exactly. So our mission today is to break down all the credible expert analysis, the previews, the tactical models, and basically give you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
By the end of this, you won't just know who's tipped to win, you'll understand why.
Yeah.
You'll know exactly what to watch for on game day.
And this match, it's just the perfect story of contrasts, isn't it? You've got the surprise package of the season in Sunderland.
A great story, yeah.
The promoted club that's flying high. And then you have, well, one of England's true elite in Manchester City, who are in this brutal title race where every single point matters.
The pressure is immense.
It guarantees drama.
Okay, so let's dive right into the form guide, and we have to start with the Giants in this one.
Of course.
City's campaign, I mean, it's running like a machine right now. Their momentum is just enormous, and the one stat that really defines it for me is this: 8 successive wins.
8.
8 wins in a row across all competitions coming into this game.
And that's not just a number, you know? That's a huge statement about their control, their resource management.
How so?
Well, you have to remember, a bunch of those wins came during that really congested festive period. We're talking tough away games, massive European fixtures.
Right, when other teams are dropping points.
Exactly. It just proves their squad depth lets them stay at that peak level, even when everyone else is, running on fumes.
And the attack is, frankly, historic. They're leading the league in scoring. Their goal difference is astronomical. But does that kind of success mask any potential weaknesses? Is there a vulnerability there?
If there is, it's tiny. But it's sort of rooted in their own dominance. Look, City are the heavy favorites here because their tactical control, their experience, it allows them to walk into a loud stadium like this without panicking.
They trust the process.
They trust the system, 100%. They know they'll eventually break a team down. Their biggest challenge isn't really beating Sunderland. It's doing it efficiently so they can manage players for the next match. That depth is their ultimate tactical weapon.
Okay, let's pivot. Let's talk about the home side. Sunderland. The new kids on the block, promoted last season.
And not just surviving.
Not at all. They're thriving. They're sitting so comfortably in the top half of the table, they're not even thinking about relegation. They're a confident underdog.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
They're basically rewriting their own script this season. And that brings us to, I think, the most critical finding from all the sources.
The fortress.
The fortress. Why the Stadium of Light is so difficult to play at right now.
This is where it gets really, really interesting for me. This is the aha stat that kind of throws a wrench in the whole thing.
Go on.
Sunderland are unbeaten in their recent home matches, a run stretching back months. But here's the kicker. They have scored in every single home game this season.
Every single one. It's phenomenal consistency.
It tells you that City can't just expect to show up and grind out a boring 1-0 win. It won't happen.
No. And that scoring streak, that's the statistical anomaly we really have to dig into.
So what's it built on?
It's built on 2 things. A really disciplined defensive structure and just sheer spirited high-energy play. They usually set up in a compact 4-5-1, sometimes a very deep 4-4-2. It's designed to frustrate.
But scoring in every game means they're not just parking the bus.
Yeah.
So what's the mechanism? Where are the goals coming from?
It's the counterpunch. They are masters of it. It's often started by their midfield general winning the ball and just instantly triggering a break. There's no slow build-up.
Get it forward quickly.
Immediately. They use the pace of their wingers and they rely on their center forward to hold the ball up just long enough for that support to arrive. It's all about quick transitional goals.
And what else?
And, crucially, set pieces. Corners, free kicks. They maximize every single rare chance they get on their home turf.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, we know City have dominated Sunderland historically, head-to-head. They've won almost all of the recent games.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're connecting the dots here, that history doesn't mean much if this current Sunderland team has a defensive system and a scoring habit that City just haven't faced here in years.
I agree completely. History sets the expectation, but current form, that dictates the reality.
And the reality is a lot of resistance.
A ton of resistance, which leads us right into the main tactical battle.
Okay, so let's try to map out the flow of the game. It feels like we're guaranteed one thing. City will dominate possession.
Oh, absolutely. 70%, maybe more.
But how do they use that possession? How do they break down a defense that we know is going to be so organized and compact?
City's game plan will be all about patience and width. They'll use their midfield triangle to just shift the ball from side to side, trying to pull Sunderland out of their shape.
And the fullbacks will be key.
The fullbacks are critical. They'll push really high up the pitch to stretch things out, which forces Sunderland's wingers to track back deeper and deeper. The whole goal is to create that little bit of space just outside the penalty box for their creators to work in.
So if City's holding the ball that much, Sunderland can't just chase it all day. What's the required approach for them?
Tactical perfection, that's what's required. It's twofold. First, they have to maintain that organized, deep, low block, no gaps.
Right.
Second, their entire attack relies on those swift transitions and set pieces. When they win the ball, they have to hit that long vertical pass immediately before City can reset.
If they hesitate for even a second.
The chance is gone, completely gone.
So it's almost a psychological battle then. City needs the patience to keep probing without getting frustrated.
And without getting caught on the break.
And Sunderland needs the discipline to just suffer without the ball for ages, waiting for that one perfect moment to strike.
That is the tension of the entire match right there. City's strategy is designed to wear you down, mentally and physically. If Sunderland's focus slips for a second around the hour mark, City will score.
But if City gets impatient and start forcing things,
that's when Sunderland can count on a turnover and maybe, just maybe, grab a shocking lead.
Okay, let's move on and talk cold, hard numbers. When the statistical models run this fixture thousands of times, what do they actually spit out?
Well, the first thing they point to is goals.
The analytics suggest the most likely total is between 2 to 3 goals. So it's not expected to be a blowout, but it's definitely not forecast to be a dull 0-0 either.
And that's the basis for what you see in the betting markets, which are firmly expecting multiple goals.
Right.
I mean, given Sunderland's perfect home scoring record and City's insane offensive power, the models just keep pushing towards over 2.5 goals, or even more likely, both teams to score.
So it's very hard to see a clean sheet for City here.
Very, very hard. Analysts just can't project it with any confidence against the Sunderland side at home.
So, likely goals. But what's the consensus on the actual result? Does Sunderland's home form translate into a shock point?
The consensus is still firm. Manchester City are the favorites to win. The squad quality, the depth, it just tips the scales in the end.
But the score lines are interesting.
Very. The score forecasts show a huge amount of respect for Sunderland. The most common predictions you see are 2-1 or 3-1 to City. Almost no models are predicting a win by more than 2 goals. They all see this as a tight, tough game for the visitors.
Let's talk players then. Obviously, the primary threat is Erling Haaland.
Of course.
But if Sunderland's defenders somehow manage to keep him quiet, who steps up for City?
Well, Haaland is the main man, and Sunderland's center backs are in for a long, long night. But City's system means that if you lock him down, they have like 3 other ways to score.
The creativity from midfield.
Yeah, if De Bruyne is playing, his passing can just slice a defense open. But you also have to watch the wide players, the wingers cutting inside, or even the fullbacks getting forward and forcing a penalty. They just do not rely on one guy.
And on the flip side, the pressure on Sunderland's attackers is just immense.
Unbelievable.
They're not going to get 15 shots like City. They might get 4 chances, maybe 5 in the whole game.
And they have to be absolutely clinical on home turf. If a chance comes from a turnover or a corner, you have to bury it. A striker who can do that is worth his weight in gold in a game like this.
Their best chance is scoring first, isn't it? Even against the run and play.
It's their only chance, really, of securing points. It changes the entire dynamic of the game.
Okay, we're in our final section now. Let's talk about the variables, the swing factors that could actually change that 2-1 City prediction. These are the things you, the listener, should really be looking for.
The nuances.
Exactly. First up has to be injuries and squad rotation. The festive period is brutal. If City decide to rest, say, a Rodri in defensive midfield,
a huge loss.
That loss of control could open up transition lanes for Sunderland that just wouldn't exist otherwise.
For sure. And any fatigue in their wingers could just dull their attacking edge slightly.
Secondly, we mentioned it before, but the home crowd and momentum. You can't overstate it.
No, the Stadium of Light will be absolutely roaring.
And if Sunderland can somehow nick an early goal, that energy can disrupt City's calm rhythm. It can force errors, maybe even put a little pressure on the referee.
The psychological side is massive in these games.
And finally, let's just revisit those key tactics. set pieces and counters. If Sunderland can keep this game close, say 1-0 or 1-1, deep into the second half, their ability to just create a goal from nothing, from a great corner or one lightning break, could absolutely steal a draw or even an unbelievable win.
Because that's when City are vulnerable, when they're pushing everyone forward trying to find that winner.
Okay, so that brings us to the bottom line, the final synthesis.
Right. Look, Manchester City are the overwhelming favorites. They'll probably win. It's going to be a high-tempo game dictated by them. However, and this is the big takeaway, because of Sunderland's unbeaten home record and their incredible scoring run, this is not going to be a one-sided walkover.
No chance.
Sunderland has earned the right to make City work, to make them suffer for those 3 points.
So that's the conflict we've set up. City's irresistible force against Sunderland's immovable, score-at-home object.
Something like that, yeah.
Everything points to a really hard-fought battle where the margins are going to be super thin.
And as you're watching and applying all this, here's a final thought to chew on.
Okay.
Given that all the models point to 2 or 3 goals being the most likely outcome, what would actually be a bigger success for Sunderland's future? Would it be battling to a 1-1 draw? Or would it be a thrilling, narrow 3-2 loss where they forced City to use every single weapon in their arsenal, expend maximum effort just to scrape by?
That's a great question.
It asks you to think about success not just in points on the board, but in the performance and the psychological benchmark they could set for the rest of their season.
Something powerful to think about right as the first whistle blows. That is all the analysis you need for the Stadium of Light. Go apply this knowledge.